Namaste. Well, everything that has a beginning has an end in the world. Everything that is born must die. Everything that starts must stop. So, even the enlightened beings have to face death. But how they face death is completely different from those who identify with the body, with the world, and so on as being real. In other words, the jnani sees the world as an appearance, as a dream, as a synthetic thing that only has its existence like a mirage, like an appearance, like this video on your screen. It's not really me. It's not really the magic mountain in the background. It's just an appearance of the same. And it has a very short duration. Now, people can understand this when it comes to their dreams at night. But because their minds are conditioned, they have a hard time seeing it about their dreams during the day when they're awake. But not the jnani. The jnani is not deceived. The jnani takes his direct personal experience as truth. Not some story, not some fairy tale about how the world is real or how things are objective or any of that. He doesn't accept those stories. He looks at the world and sees that it disappears every night when he goes to sleep. And another world takes its place. Or worlds. Different dreams, different bodies, different class of characters. And then that also disappears and one goes into deep sleep and there's nothing. Oh, there's still something. I. The being, the Atma, the consciousness, or rather the awareness. Awareness without an object. Awareness with an object is consciousness. Without, it's Brahman, it's Shiva, it's Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So we enter this state every night. And if we can't get our deep sleep for whatever reason, it has a severe impact on our health and sanity. So anyway, my sannyas guru, very nice old man, his picture is on the video, on the display picture. He is 95, I think 96 years old now. And it's getting to be time for him to leave the body. He told us, he has two disciples. Me and my ex-rickshaw driver. So he told us the other day, he said, I'm going to leave soon. And we don't know exactly what soon means. I spent the morning with him yesterday. And even though his body is very thin and frail and weak, his breathing is still good and unobstructed. His heart action seems to be strong. There's a few physical problems, but it's not causing him any pain. See, this is the advantage. Only one, but a very profound advantage of this Sri Vidya, that at the time of death there is no suffering, either physical or psychological. Yeah, his body is falling apart, but he's not fighting it. He's not resisting it. And because he's not clinging to a state of being that is fading away. He's not in a suffering condition. He's actually in bliss because, oh, finally get rid of this bag of bones, this meat body, food body, annamaya-kosha, and things will be so much better. What a relief. So, in this way, the jnani faces death with equanimity. He's not suffering. He's actually anticipating, oh, now I get to drop this inconvenient body and go and live in a better situation. We talked, there are 5 different kinds of moksha. The jnani qualifies for any of them. Salokya means to live in the spiritual world with God. Samipya means to have similar opulences, like powers, and so on. Sarupya means to have a similar shape, a similar form, as the form of the God that you worship. And finally, Sayujya means to merge in the Brahman. This is the highest form of liberation. So those who worship the goddess are generally in their last lifetime. They get moksha at the end of this life. Others can't conceptualize this goddess worship, so they dismiss it, they reject it, and they go worship the male forms. But the male forms are all simply emanations of the Shakti. Try to get that through your head. None of the male forms are actually absolute or eternal. They're all conditioned, and they're conditioned by their dependence on Shakti. Shakti supplies wives to all the great demigods, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Yeah, she gives Lakshmi to Vishnu. She gives Saraswati to Brahma. And of course, she herself becomes the wife of Shiva, Durga. So in this way, the work of creating, maintaining, and destroying the cosmic manifestation is all done by Shakti. And that's as it should be, because Shakti is Mahamaya. And this whole cosmic manifestation is simply the play of Maya. It's just a show. It's just a show, like this video. It's a show. Don't take it too seriously. It's going to end soon. Of course, the nature of the material world is that it tends towards decay and dissolution and death because of the influence of time. And my Adi Guru, he once defined the spiritual existence as that nature in which the time influence is conspicuous by its absence. In other words, it always seems like the material world is falling apart. There's always another crisis looming on the horizon. There's always another empire about to fall. Chaos is always waiting in the wings. But what it really means is that time is there, and entropy, if you know physics, means ever increasing disorder. So that's just the state of being in the material world. Why? Because it's a dream. Here we go, right back to the beginning again. Yes, it's a circular argument. And what it's circling around is Shakti. So if we want liberation, if we want peace, and if we want especially understanding of the nature of this world, the nature of life, the nature of being, and so on, we should worship Shakti. She is the trap. She is the illusion, the Maya. So she alone can set us free. And those whom she chooses get tremendous benefits. I've been doing some of these ceremonies you see in the other videos, and studying, of course, and meditating on Shakti. I took initiation from a Shakta guru, and I got some secret mantras. And you can too. I can introduce you. It surprises me, so far, only one person has contacted me for an introduction. And that's a young girl of Indian descent living in the U.S. But nobody here. Nobody in India. It's very strange to me. Because if I got this kind of opportunity earlier, man, I would have jumped all over it. Pounced on it like a lion. Rawr. Because this is the gateway to liberation. Not only liberation, it's described in the scriptures that anyone who wants a high position in this world means good earning potential, security, nice family situation, respect, power, the good kind of power, not the bad kind of power that comes from the misuse, but the good kind of power that actually helps people. He should worship Shakti. And we see, for example, with Chandrasekharendra Saraswati, the Mahapariva, that all kinds of very powerful people came to him. And he simply advised them, worship Shakti, Ambal, the specific form of Shakti in which she is very, very merciful and loving. So we are encouraging in the same way. And we see the result, that my guru, here he is 95, 96 years old, he's facing death. And he has done so much in his life to help people. But he never started an organization. He never collected donations or fees. He was just a humble servant of the mother, the goddess, Ambal. So now I'm also getting old. Or at least this body is. The consciousness is unchanged. Always. So one should realize this consciousness, this awareness, Atma, the self. And of course, we've gone through, my God, almost 500 videos now about the Buddha's teaching, about existentialism in the very beginning, about Ramana Maharshi's teaching, all different kinds of meditation techniques. Everything you need to realize the self. But the thing is, you have to make the commitment to do it. It takes time. Yes, it takes quite a bit of time. Only because we're so conditioned. We're so wired up to look at the world as real, instead of looking at the self as real. And we look at consciousness as an epiphenomenon of some kind of neurological activity in the brain. So we look at consciousness as a phenomenon that arises in the world, except that's really not the way it is. It's the other way around. The world is a phenomenon that arises in consciousness. Om Tat Sat. Om Harihi Om.